Happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Hey everybody, Cindy Ashton here, and I wanted to pop in because as of September, it's been 25 years since I have been in business. And I'm like, wait, we are at the end of the year and I still haven't celebrated. So I wanted to take a few minutes just to go through some of the big milestones of my career. Maybe it will inspire you, but also at the very end, I'm so excited to share a little bit of what's going to happen in 2022, including I am starting up an interview series all around growing your impact to the next level. And maybe you're somebody who's growing your impact and wants to be on it. So we'll talk about that at the end too. All right. So 1996, I was in university. My student debt was getting enormous and I was bagging groceries for $5.85 an hour. And I thought to myself, what else can I do that would make more money? And so I put an ad in this penny saver to start teaching music, start teaching piano and singing and speaking. And what was originally supposed to be my university job, I fell in love with it. I had so much fun with my kids. And eventually through the years, I let go of the piano. I let go of teaching singing. Eventually I went from working with kids to working with adults. But that's really how it started. A little ad in the penny saver way back in the day. And then in the year 2000, two significant things happened. I got married, and then I got divorced shortly after. That was a good life lesson. But I also was hired part-time as an educational consultant. And this is, a lot of people don't even know this part of my history, but it's a significant part because I was literally going into inner city schools and where the teachers had given up on these kids, the system had given up on these kids. And I would train the teachers and then model with the children how to integrate singing, dancing, and acting into regular curriculum like math and science and English and social studies. Because the truth is that we have 8 different learning styles. And if we are not engaging in the learning style that is the way that we learn best, there's a lot of kids and adults that fall through the cracks. And so this is significant for 2 reasons. So first is my work had such a huge impact, and it had such a huge impact on these kids and on these teachers that I've been published twice in national curriculum guides, and it's been 20 years, and those national curriculum guides are still being used by teachers, still being used by kids. And I think about that, how I have literally reached millions and millions of children and educators this way. And that's pretty significant. It's overwhelming and whew. But the second thing is that it's really shaped as a strategist, as a trainer. It's all about process. It's all about understanding people's behavioral styles, their learning styles. And that's why I have such a great track record of being able to get results. But it's partially because of this piece. In 2003, now this is really funny. It was my first paid speaking engagement. Now here's what's funny about it, is that never did I ever want to be a speaker. As a kid, I was always the activist, I was always the educator, and I was always the performer. So when I got asked to speak, I was like, sure, I'll speak. It's just educating again. But it ended up being literally a lifelong career that I never wanted. I think it's hysterical. And I don't regret it because I think about, years and thousands of stages I've been in and how much I've had an impact. And that is super awesome. 2009, by this point, I was only teaching speaking and only doing speaking. I decided to sell everything and go to the United States of America. And what was really interesting is that when I had made the decision, it was 2008, and I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. And I already had some connections, and I had literally sold all my possessions, sold my house, everything. I bawled my eyes out when they took my piano away, like bawled. And I literally spent over $100,000 for my immigration. And the 2008 crash happened in October, and I got my immigration papers shortly after. So when I arrived in the US, it was the worst economic time. And at that point, all my connections were gone. All the potential opportunities were gone. I had just spent all my money, and I was flat freaking broke. I was like, OMG. And let me tell you, I hustled my ass. And within that first year, I was sharing stages with some of the biggest names in the world. I was getting a ton of press, but mostly it comes back to impact. I was having an impact. I was changing people's lives, and that was what was important. But in this time period, it shaped me very deeply because sharing stages with some of the biggest names on the planet was eye-opening and disturbing. I could not believe the amount of money grabbing, manipulation, just inauthenticity. It made me sick to my stomach, which is a huge reason why I moved away from the motivational, self-help, secret kind of people. Yes, I've shared stages with people from The Secret. Don't get me started on that. And I won't, for legal reasons. I don't want to be sued for the shit I know. But anyways, so I continue to do what I do. But in 2014, at that point, I started to realize that because of all the experiences I've had, and because I had come to the US as an unknown and blew up my career, I understood something about brand. And so teaching speaking was more than just teaching speaking, voice, body language. You know, it really became, what's your brand? What's that bigger message? What's a bigger impact? And that's when I started looking at the whole ecosystem of how that works. And that's when I started to attract a lot more clients who were mission driven. It wasn't just about being a confident speaker. It was about speaking from their power on a bigger level. 2017, I won my Tully Award. And this is another thing that I am enormously proud of. And so it was, a Tully Award is this beautiful thing. It's very heavy. So I'm not going to, it's like weightlifting. But my TV show, Cindy Uncorked, did an episode called Almost Naked, and it was all about body shaming. And I literally got in front of a live audience, and I stripped down to almost nothing. Just show off my scars and talk about how body shaming could happen to anybody. And I interviewed people from the skinny side of the fence, the heavy side of the fence, to transgendered women, to, you know, dark skin, light skin, like mentally ill. Like, we covered all this stuff around being shamed. And when I won the Tully Award, I didn't even realize that it was a real award. And then when I realized that the gold had gone to CBS News and the silver had gone to CBS Interactive and the bronze had gone to me, I was like, and it's not about the award for me, but it was about the impact. Again, the amount of people who approached me to say, Cindy, that body shaming episode was so brave, and it helped me to heal. Like, that's what drives me, not the press, not the awards, but it's the significance. 2021, this is where we're at. So throughout my career, you might have seen that there's always been a cause, right? Like, I was working with the inner city kids. I didn't even talk about all the volunteer work I've done. You know, I was fed up with the speaking world and the shysters. It was about doing better in the world. It's about brand. It's about getting your voice out. It's about, you know, so 2021, the decision that I've made going into 2022 is that moving forward, when it comes to my business around speaking from your power, and in conjunction with this amazing woman, Christina Dave, getting people PR famous, the two of us, with the work that we're doing, is so significant. And our world is in such turmoil at this point that we need more and more leaders, more and more businesses from an authentically powerful place to be giving back. And so moving into 2022, it's about using my voice as an award-winning TV host. It's about using my voice as an influencer, using my connections with my clients to help them, not just train them in speaking, not just get them publicity, but get their brand out on a bigger level. And so moving forward, it's really about, I am only working with people who have a cause that we believe in that's going to change the world. Which brings me to two things. If you are that person with a cause, with a business, with a brand that is changing the world, I am starting an interview series where I'm going to be interviewing phenomenal people like you. Go to speakfromyourpower.com/apply. And the other thing is that because a lot of people don't understand, again, this is my educational consultant person, a lot of people don't understand what it really takes to build a sustainable brand and grow your impact. I created it's a free video on the 8 aspects to speak from your power, get your voice heard, and grow your brand and your impact to the next level. If you want to see that, go to speakfromyourpower.com/8 aspects. So I go through the 8 aspects. Okay. So thank you so much for being part of this journey with me. I could have never been where I am today if it wasn't for years of people loving and supporting me, as well as people hating me and forcing me to be better, and step up and say, it's okay that some people don't like my shit. It's good shit. It's good rainbow stuff. But I'm very deeply grateful. And I think that the biggest thing is I'm just grateful and overwhelmed by the impact I've made in the world. And the next 25 years is going to be bigger because I am so dedicated to continuing to work with people who have a big voice that need to get that voice out. And I'm continuing to get my own voice out. So hopefully my journey has inspired you. I'm sending you all my love, all my blessings. Go forth, be blessed. Namaste.